Sorry, my armpit itches. Can I scratch it?
That's going to be the intro of the podcast now. What's up, guys? I'm Dan.
And I'm Jasmine.
Welcome back to Speaking Through the Gray, episode number 23. And this week, we're going to be talking about worship. And I don't know which title we're going to pick for the YouTube and Spotify link, but
guess we'll see.
There's a couple working titles that we have here. So one of them is Holy Smoke Machines and Humble Hearts. Set lists and surrender, auto-tune and anointing. That one's funny.
I like that one.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I like the first one as well. Worship in 2026. Lights on, hearts open. I don't like that one. It's not
as funny.
That one's not funny at all, to be honest. So, yeah. So anyway, we'll figure it out. But this whole podcast episode is going to be about just understanding worship in 2026. I mean, from really worship, from at least for me as a kid, growing up in the 90s to now has changed. And there are different aspects of it. And so we're going to get into it.
Yeah. So when you walk into a building, are you like, is this a concert or is it a church? I feel like that's where we are in certain aspects and churches.
And it's interesting, even that title itself for this part of the segment is interesting because I've seen critiques on both sides. Like I'll see someone like, there'll be like a worship leader Facebook group. Like, I don't know how I keep ending up in all of these ones online, but they'll be like, oh, somebody's proud of their worship set and they post it, but they're part of a big church. And like, they used to be a touring musician and they got off the road to be a part of their church and all that. And they're like, man, we really love this song. And people are like, is this a rock show or a church? And I'm like, I get it. I get the critique, but I'm also like, I don't know. I feel like some people are going to complain about everything and have a problem with everything too. So, and I think we'll get into it the further we get into the episode because it's really about the heart of it, not the art of it.
Exactly. So of our fun questions. Okay.
Oh, well.
Didn't go all the way.
Dang it. The button didn't work. All right, go ahead.
Some of our questions to kick off is, when did worship leaders start dressing like indie rock artists? Which I like fashion. So if it like progresses in a certain way, I feel like it goes along with fashion trends of now.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
No, and these next couple quotes, they're more of a poking fun situation. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, no, I see that. I think one time I tried to dress trendy, and I'm like, I don't. It's not my thing,
Yeah,
it just doesn't.
You did. I feel like I remember that time.
Yeah,
I took a picture.
I was wearing my Maverick City hat, and I had a whole fit going on.
Yeah.
Yep.
So is it still worship if the bridge repeats 17 times? And does the Holy Spirit move more when the lights are dim?
Yeah.
So worship styles change, of course. Technology evolves, but the mission hasn't. So what does healthy worship leading look like in 2026?
Yep.
What does it look like to you, Dan?
I really think it does come down to the heart more than just the art, because you're gonna have. Because one of the things I think is annoying is when a church tries to replicate another church. Yeah. It's okay to have inspiration. It's okay to have things that you enjoy about maybe a worship song or, some transition chords, whatever the situation may be. But like when you try to copy and paste somebody else's situation because they have success, it's like, you can learn from what works from them to a degree, but it's like,
it's usually noticeable too.
But the problem is it creates these unrealistic expectations for smaller churches.
Exactly.
And that's one of the things I hate. It's like, when you're at a church of 120 people, which, to be honest, in this day and age, an average church is really in the 60s ish. Yeah. So like these big churches are really outliers. But even if you're somewhere between 60 to 120 and people are like, well, why don't we have X, Y, and Z?
Yeah. And it's hard to compare yourself to like these bigger churches who are paying all their staff different things. And a lot of these people have degrees in this stuff and like know what they're doing. Some churches are smaller and just have volunteers that are making it every Sunday, trying their best.
Yeah.
I feel like live stream really killed things for us.
No, I'm currently trying to get our live stream to sound more accurate as well.
Because I feel like during 2020, we started seeing I know we're going to get into like the bigger churches, but you started seeing the bigger churches and you're like, whoa, our church does not do that. We have a small church.
Yep. Yeah, so the state of worship in 2026, we think of the big sound era where we think of Elevation Church or Elevation Worship, Bethel Worship, Hillsong, all these ones that have written songs that have been sung, across the world in churches. More specifically in this era, Elevation. Bethel, I don't know. I get a little wonky on them sometimes.
We've heard some songs from them.
They have some good songs here and there, and then Hillsong, I feel like I don't hear a lot from Hillsong anymore.
Well, a lot of things have changed because of certain things that happened in different churches.
Oh, that is true. Yeah. Hillsong Young and Free still slaps, as the kids say.
And what's crazy is I don't think I've ever really watched them or even knew that they exist until I met you, and then also until 2020 when we were at home and we're like, oh, they're streaming their services. Let's watch these pastors. Those pastors have changed over time as well.
Yeah. That's an episode for another day. Yeah. So taking some points from them, like the high production value, arena style worship, global streaming access, social media clips, sharing songs popularity. I mean, there's just a capturing, which is good because, which we should do another episode on this, but like even with certain groups like Elevation, like preaching, where it's like more seeker sensitive, there is a certain level of surfaceness to some of it. I don't want to throw everything out. And that's good, especially for newer believers or people that have never heard worship before or, those things. I think their worship, especially Elevation, I love all of their worship. It's fantastic. And I think that it's, some people are like, oh, I don't like it because it's popular. It's like, you're trying to be like a hipster. It's like, dude, just, chill. But I mean, if people are hearing the word of God through music and being able to engage with worship for the first time, I think it's awesome. So I wouldn't throw it out.
It sounds good.
Yeah.
They really put it together.
Yeah, it's good.
I liked the worship that came together with Maverick when they're like just all together worshiping each other. And it was like a big carpet in the middle and we just have people standing around.
Like a collaborative.
Like when that started coming out, it was just like, oh wow, like we should be in the room together and worshiping together. Like it seemed more of a community type of situation.
No doubt.
So we used to argue about hymnals. Now we argue about LED walls.
Yeah.
Some of us are still arguing about hymnals.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But go ahead.
No, we'll actually address that later. But it's the things that are valuable in that space. And I guess it really depends on your church. Some churches really love traditional stuff mixed with, contemporary, and you got to find that balance depending on your congregation and where you're from. Because we have, like, for example, in Northeast Pennsylvania, there's a lot of people that have come from Catholic backgrounds. So having a mixture of like a couple hymns, but then also, contemporary worship that's not like over the top, smoke machine, LED walls, fog machine, the whole deal. Like, it kind of appeals to those people where it's like a middle ground transition.
I don't think I ever argued about an LED wall.
No,
I'm just trying to get some brighter lighting every now and then.
Yeah. I just want the lighting in our sanctuary to be brighter. That's the only thing I want.
I think it just really depends on where you are.
Yep. No doubt.
Are you going into it? seemed like you were about to go into the next part.
You got it.
So TikTok theology and viral bridges. So songs blow up because of one emotional 30-second clip. There is one clip that I can think of on TikTok. It was Maverick City. And it's always a song that goes over someone like crying in the corner or like someone coming from sin and going into Christian life. And then you keep hearing it over and over. But it says, oh, are we writing songs for the church or just your algorithm, which is very interesting to think about.
And I don't know. I don't think that's, again, we kind of generate some of this, we always say we use like ChatGPT to help get an outline down. But I don't think that one hits, to be honest. Like, I think that, maybe there's probably a small percentage, and it's people who are already not in a certain level of space, especially like the bigger worship, like Maverick and Elevation and Hillsong Young and Free, whoever they are. I think that they're genuinely like they're writing for, for the people. But there might be a couple people who are just literally trying to get their name out there more. Yeah. So they'll try to write for the algorithm. But yeah.
I don't see it as such, but I think when you are like someone who knows algorithm and TikTok, and you hear like a clip that's super catchy and then it just catches on.
Yeah.
And now we're all doing the same thing.
Yeah, let's go to segment 3. What worship actually is. Let's reset the room. So obviously we were kind of poking fun a little bit in the beginning, but we do want to actually look at what worship actually practically is. Yeah.
Worship is response, not performance. Worship is vertical before it is viral. Worship is formation, not just feeling.
Yeah. I think that's important.
Isn't there a vertical worship?
There is.
Okay.
They're actually really good.
Continue.
I can't think of a single song right now by them, but I know.
Isn't it like, yes, it is?
Oh, yeah. And then the jailbreak,
yes,
I'm going free. I think.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yep. So anyway.
Off topic.
Anyway, yeah. It's a response, not a performance, because even with our worship team, you are trying to present yourself as professional. You want to make sure that it's not like we're trying to be perfect or because we're gonna screw up. It's just a matter of time. But I think that it's important that in the posture of our heart in leading worship is that we want to create an environment where there's no distractions. People can sing songs that are biblically accurate, that are focusing their attention on God and not anything in the room, and then let them take that moment and engage with God. So yeah, it's not a performance. It's, I played in bands before. I played in, different situations, but when you're leading worship, it's not about that.
I know that when I've helped women or, men learn how to sing in front of people and stuff like that, I'd have them be like, but they're all looking at me. And it's like, well, when I say when we're doing worship, I'm looking up because I'm like, I'm talking to God and I'm not talking to man. Like, this is my relationship with God. And I think that has helped a lot of people. Like, I'm not singing just for, the people in the crowd. Like, this is my communication with God.
Yeah.
So that's helped me.
Yeah. I have such bad ADHD that if I don't stare at my chord sheet, which I have on a 55-inch screen in front of me, I'm looking down at it so I can stay focused on where I'm at in the song. Every once in a while I'll look away and I get comfortable, but usually it follows by a missed chord or two.
It's hard.
It is difficult. But, that also keeps my focus on like where we're at.
What do you think about having to, like, I feel like some people say you have to like memorize all these songs, which I think is I
don't think it's practical for everyone.
For the amount of songs that you sing.
Yeah.
How do I memorize it all?
Well, I think kind of like My Lone, what we were talking last week about like biblical conviction versus, or like personal conviction versus biblical conviction or corporate conviction. And it's similar. It's like that people get, especially with musicians, sometimes they can get real snooty and arrogant about a little thing like that, where it's like, yeah, and I get it. You want to get comfortable. And I have very few songs that I could like legit not look down and get comfortable. And I think that it is important ones you play if you can. Yeah.
Years and years.
And I could do that. But then as soon as we're like in front of a bunch of people and I'm just like, all right, I want to make sure that this is like, I'm not going to get distracted because it can happen. Because then I get into it and I enjoy and I start worshiping too. Like, I'm all ready. But then if I get too, I'll get distracted. What's up, guys? Dan and Jasmine here. And we just wanted to tell you about this amazing company called Disciple Threads. Jasmine's also wearing a shirt. I'm wearing a shirt, hat, tons of stickers on the back of the computer.
I don't have all that.
Yeah, well, we need to get another sticker pack, which
clearly.
you can get at their website,
disciplethreads.co.
Yes, and we have a promo code,
which is STTG.
Yes, so if you're interested, they have amazing apparel. If you want to wear your faith on your sleeves, literally, or on your shirts, on their website, they have amazing clothing. They have awesome stickers. Anything where you want to wear your faith on your sleeves, be able to have gospel conversations. Even this hat is also Disciple Threads. I was able to have a conversation the other day where the verse reference on my hat was the exact verse I was having in the conversation. So amazing clothes, amazing company. Make sure to go use our promo code there for your discount code.
Yes.
Enjoy. All right, and we're back. Sorry, one of our kids had to go pee and apparently needed to involve us in the process. So anyway, I just want to, before we transition, that the worship is formation, not just feeling. I really like that because worship, when we're engaging, we're thanking God, we're giving him praise for who he is, what he's done. It truly changes the way we think. And that's why worship is so powerful, because it changes us from the inside out. when we truly engage in worship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And are we like, do people know how to worship? So one of our key lines is, if your worship team disappeared, would your church still know how to worship? Are we the only ones able to get people engaged in it, or do they know how to do it themselves as well?
That's tough. I mean, I know actually one of the future guests I want to have on the podcast, I talked to a couple people today trying to get them on. But I was talking to one of our friends that pastors at a church that has no musicians. It's just a cappella. They just sing. And, that's interesting. I mean, that'd be really difficult for me because of the music background. But, I think it's beautiful that, people don't let anything get in the way of them worshiping God. And again, that's where it's like, I think that some people, I don't know if they would like to, I don't feel comfortable with it. It's like, no, like even if my preference is one thing, it's like nothing should be able to get in the way of you worshiping God. Yeah. So, yeah.
So the modern worship leader in 2026, they are more than a singer now.
Yeah.
They are theologians, they are culture shapers, and they are spiritual shepherds.
Yeah.
I feel like when you look on if you're looking for like a church job, they usually want you to be a theologian. Like they don't want you just to be the singer. They want a background.
I don't know. I feel like in some ways it's changed. And I think it all really depends on the background you come from, denomination, all that kind of stuff. But I think that there was an era, or I don't know what I'm trying to say, but there was a time period where I feel like it was, the pastor, associate pastor, different people, and it was like the worship leader was like, as long as he can sing the song good, like that doesn't really matter. But I feel like there definitely has been more of a push that like you have to have some type of at least theological base. Yeah. And because of the social media age, like the whole culture shaping, you look at, Brandon Lake and Phil Wickham and, all these Chandler Moore, all these people, they're engaging culture, shaping culture when it comes to worship. And then, them speaking into people's lives, through their music and through even social media and different things. They can become a shepherd, but it definitely can't replace, your online situation, all these different people that like you worship leaders, even they can't replace your local community. You definitely need to be shepherded and held accountable by your local church. And then you're like
looking at these, I would call them like celebrity Christians.
Yeah.
And then when they fall, like the one guy did from Newsboys, then everyone's like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do now? And we have to realize that this person's not God.
Yeah. So, no doubt.
And then we also do a comparison thing like, well, our church isn't like Brandon Lake, or we're not, being recorded, but it's not about being the celebrity Christian.
Yeah. And the honest question from this segment, are we raising worship pastors or Christian influencers?
Yeah.
And that's something that's interesting. Like one of the previous churches that I worked for when I was in the Harrisburg area, I took on a job as a worship pastor. And it was one of the first times I ever saw that as a title, because usually it's like worship leader or, worship director, but I never saw like worship pastor.
Yeah.
But really that should be the expectation, is that especially for most churches that, like we were talking about before, 60 to 120 people, if you have a worship pastor or even a worship leader, they should be not just singing songs, but they should be engaging the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some practical advice for worship leaders. It's to build a set list that teaches. I don't think when I got to you, I was really thinking about that. Like when we started getting together and you were like, yeah, that song is not biblical. And I'm like, why not? It's a good song. It's a banger.
No, yeah.
So balance vertical intimacy with doctrinal depth and ask, what is this song teaching our people?
Yeah. No, and like really looking at, especially in relation to at least, sometimes I pick set lists based off of trying to rotate songs in, but like, especially as we get closer to Easter, like songs that are focused and pointing towards what we're going to be addressing through the Lent season, things like that as well.
And I never thought about it like that. I'm just like, let's just sing these songs. But
yeah. And this kind of deals with what you were saying, but don't outsource discernment. Just because a song is trending doesn't mean it's right for your house, and doesn't mean it's also biblically accurate.
Yeah.
Who's the guy? Alan Parr on YouTube. Fantastic if you get a chance to watch his videos. But he did there was a song that I really liked. And honestly, I'm not going to lie. Once he came out and was like, so this song is biblically inaccurate. And I'm like, oh no.
And then he starts explaining it. And you're like, oh, you're kind of right, aren't
he's
you?
Right. That stinks. Because I really like that song.
Tunes.
It's only one, and it's one small part. So I'm like, can we still lead it if we change the word here? Will we get in trouble from CCLI if we change the lyrics of this song? But yeah, yep. Develop the team spiritually. This is important, especially for a worship team. Like our worship team, we pray together. That's one of the first points. And that's something that we do every Sunday. And we actually have our elders get together and they pray over, in one of the offices, they pray over who's preaching that day. And so we actually recently decided to bring that all together. So now the worship team, the elders, whoever's preaching that day, all come together and pray before the service. Yeah. And it builds a sense of unity. And then also helps everybody realize that when we're going to lead worship, this isn't just something natural, but it's supernatural, that we can't do it on our own. So we need God to help us lead people into his presence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other ones I'm like, do we do or have I done in the past, study scripture together? I know we do a lot of small groups. I know their churches do Bible studies and stuff like that.
But with the worship team, though, that's something we should...
specific worship team, that's interesting. And even don't let rehearsal replace devotion. Are we having devotion with our worship team? I don't think I've ever done that in the past. Well, unless your worship team is your family and you do devotion to your family, because that's where I've been in the past.
Yeah, well, this is still new for us. We're a little over a year now at Nebo Baptist, and we're still, it's different when it's usually just the two of us leading worship to now having a full worship team. So there's certain things that we're still learning and trying to get better at. But yeah, that's something maybe get somebody to pick a verse each week and, try to lead a quick devotional before practice or something. That would be, yeah.
I feel like we're always in a rush season. And I know we talked with your friend, was it Mylon? Yeah, last week, and how where everything's so fast. We get in, we have to do what we need to do, but we don't take out time sometimes to, stop.
Yep.
So killing the performance anxiety. So we must remind our team that excellence honors God and perfection is not required for his presence. Yeah. And I feel like when I have helped other singers in the past, they're like, is this note going to work? And I'm like, just let's see what happens. Sing the note. It may or may not work.
Yeah. There's been many a live stream I've looked back at and I was like, why did I go for that?
Don't look back on live streams.
It's
even a good singer doesn't sound good on a live stream sometimes.
Unless you have a crazy budget for your live stream stuff. It's never going to sound the best. But yeah, I love that because it almost looks contradictory when I'm looking at it. But that first part saying excellence honors God, but then perfection is not required for his presence. Because excellence, I think taking that looks at not perfection, but giving your best to God is what that really is trying to say.
We're never going to be perfect. No. So we're going to just try our best. And sometimes the set goes well and sometimes it bombs. And
Yeah, I just saw a clip from about a year ago.
Catch on fire.
Oh yeah, that's happened to us twice.
It's happened to us multiple times.
That happened to us twice. Yeah, one time at Jasmine's parents' church, we were leading worship, and I was plugged into there was 3 different PA systems, I feel like, and the one I was plugged into while we were leading worship, all of a sudden you see smoke coming up from behind me, and I'm like, oh no,
you couldn't hear anything. We're like, what's happening? Oh, there's a fire.
Yeah, that's because I had to flip the switch on it because it was
gotta love it.
It was going down.
At least things will go bad very quickly.
So fun rapid fire round as we get towards the end here. Okay, so would you rather lead a hymn or 7 minutes of spontaneous bridge?
I feel like it's a hard one because what hymn is it? Do I like the hymn?
Yeah, there's definitely going to be a caveat.
If it's a 7 minute spontaneous bridge, that means we're all in it. The whole, I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like that's got to be, well, of course, this is just for fun. So, don't overanalyze it, people.
I will overanalyze it.
But, I think that, you know, if you're in like
7
a moment of worship,
time.
that's what I feel like. An average song is like 3.5, 4 minutes. So that's like double that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
maybe just a hymn.
I think normally, there's a couple hymns I love, and I love to lead, at least the way I like to sing it. But I think I'd go with a hymn as well. This isn't something we deal with, but click track or old school drummer chaos. We go old school drummer chaos.
Both, and that's an ant again.
We gotta spray down here.
It depends. Are we talking about chaos or is it on beat? I think I'm overanalyzing. Is it absolute chaos?
I think people that are used to click track and having a whole system behind them with like everything's set up in time. Then if you're used to that and then you try to go back, I think we're just used to doing things a certain way. I feel like the old school
drummer just feels like, we're doing it. Yeah, like, this is just happening.
They just rock out. Yeah, let's just go for it. So, key of D or key. Oh my God, there's like an ant on top of my computer now.
Oh, that's crazy. Struggle bus.
Yeah, struggle bus. Key of D or key of that's too high for the congregation.
What do you mean?
Well, let me see.
Oh, like playing in the key of D as the difficultness of playing in the key of D.
I don't think
I would rather. We're gonna practice before, right? I'm not gonna
play everything in the key of G. Almost everything.
I don't want to hear everyone in heaven trying to sing the highest note in the world. Yeah. Like I feel like I try my best not to sing all the way up there so that we can sing all together.
One, easiest to play in my opinion. Two, it just is right about that baseline.
So I will play in an uncomfortable key so that we're all comfortable singing this song.
Oh yeah. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
It's fun when you hit one of those keys where you're like, you either have to stretch yourself too high to make it work, or you have to like, you're like, this is terrible. But yeah.
No one wants to do all that.
Fog Machine, Tool or Temptation?
I think I've only ever been a part of a Fog Machine before, and it was more of a concert thing for my sister. So I think Fog Machine is completely unnecessary. Like, why are we doing that?
Yeah, also, it's not.
Like, why do we need a fog machine? Can you imagine us trying to come out with this fog machine?
Yeah, it would not go well.
So I throw up my hands and just like fog. I don't know. I just don't see it. I don't see it.
Jake rises up from the drums.
It's the most ridiculous thing ever.
Oh, man. So, big questions for 2026. Are we creating moments or are we making disciples? Because lights fade, songs rotate out, and trends shift, but formation lasts. Mm-hmm. So it's something we really do have to think about. Sometimes I feel like worship gets put in such a separate category. Yeah. Worship leaders, worship teams, all that stuff. But a church that should be unified on the message of the gospel means that we're creating disciples.
Well, and at times, I think a lot of churches want to stay relevant and keep the youth in. And so I don't know where I was going with that, but I don't know where. Help me out.
Yeah.
You're just gonna.
There's
your
something
buttons
wrong.
Are cutting out.
Oh no. Anyway, that would have been funny, but okay. So yeah. I don't know. It's yeah.
So our closing thought, in 2026, the church doesn't need better performers. It needs worship leaders who disappear so Jesus can be seen. Now, wait, there's a question I have for you though. Like, I feel like you should be able to be a decent singer to still be a worship leader. Like, would it be bad if we had a whole bunch of, No.
So I think what it's saying is, like not singing
I'm
good
not really talking
and
about
singing
this.
over the top. We're not talking about some like Beyonce vocal run.
Yeah, no, that's unnecessary.
Yeah, and honestly, it's not even. That's annoying. But no, I think the worship leader who disappears. I think what it's saying is that like
I wasn't talking about that. I'm going to be honest.
You were talking about the first part.
I thought about something completely random, and I wanted to ask before we were done.
Yeah, no, obviously. I mean, you have to be able to sing and to be on the worship team. It's an unfortunate fact that not everybody loves, but it is true.
But
yeah.
Worship leaders who disappear so Jesus can be seen. I always prayed. Andy Mineo has a song. I guess he was C Light at the time. I don't know. But like I can play the background. Like you be the lead and I'm in the background. That's just fully be about Jesus and not about me being able to sing and my cute hipster outfit. That button worked.
That button works. What the heck? I gotta do a software update. Anyway,
do our pastoral challenge.
Yeah. No, yeah. And I love that. Like, Leaders Disappear too is like, it's kind of like, I think of it this way. The tech team, like the sound and the media stuff, nobody knows they're back there unless something goes wrong.
Yeah.
So in the same way, it's like as a worship team, it's like as long as we practice and we're doing our due diligence and really, giving our best to God, that kind of like gets people to like, I think people look at the screen more than anything and just focus on the words and engage in worship. And that's what the goal, really should be. But anyway, so as we close, to land the plane here, a pastoral challenge to worship leaders, lead people, not vibes. Friend Alex Beitzel, he hates the word vibes. It's a whole thing. We still need to get him on the podcast. But anyway,
I like saying that word sometimes though.
Yeah, we have a whole different reason though. It's a real inside story. Anyway. So yeah, making sure that we're leading people. We're not just trying to create an atmosphere. We're not trying to create good feelings. It's like, no, we want to be looking at biblically accurate lyrics, and really getting people to feel comfortable engaging in a good environment. For pastors, disciple your worship leaders. If you're a senior pastor, associate pastor, whatever pastor, take time to disciple your worship leaders. Because like we said before, a lot of times people do kind of put them on the back burner when it comes to theology or to standards and things like that. And I'm not saying that's all churches. I think there's a lot of great churches that do have that setup. But, if that's something that you as a pastor are thinking like, wow, I haven't really been investing that time, take that time. And then to the congregations, don't spectate, participate. And I know don't worry if you think you have a terrible singing voice, just belt it out, man. I think one of the most beautiful things, I was at a men's conference one time, and one of the worship leaders was like, was saying how funny it is. It's like you go to a women's conference and it sounds generally pretty good in the crowd. You go to a men's conference, he's like, it sounds terrible, but it's powerful at the same time. Like it's just a bunch of dudes just belting it out. But yeah, it's like, don't just spectate, don't just but engage in God's presence. That's what worship is all about.
You're not worrying about what other people think of you at that time.
Exactly.
Just do it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's over.
Well, hopefully our closing thing will work. But yeah, so thank you so much for joining us. Next week, we are going to have another guest. We're going to try to line up a bunch more guests. But we have our friend Doug Higgins going to be coming into the studio. And he is a police officer, done chaplaincy. Also, him and his wife are starting a church. So it's really exciting going to be exciting to have him on. And it's going to be awesome. So thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week on Speaking Through the Gray.
See you.
How did it happen?